Have you ever been mocked by the people who were supposed to love you? Have you ever discovered that the joke wasn't funny? It was cruel, calculated, and designed to make you feel small? My name is Maya, and this is the story of how my ex-husband's wealthy family gave me a nickname, how I discovered what it really meant, and how I served them the most expensive lesson of their privileged lives. They thought I was beneath them. They thought I wouldn't fight back. They were wrong. Let me take you back to 2018. I was 26 years old, working double shifts at an upscale Italian restaurant in downtown Seattle called Bellini's. It wasn't glamorous work, sore feet, demanding customers, tips that barely covered rent, but it was honest work, and I was proud of it. I grew up in Tacoma, Washington, in a neighborhood where you learned early that nobody was coming to save you. My mom worked 3 jobs after my dad left when I was 8. We lived in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment where the heat barely worked in winter and the AC didn't exist in summer. I wore hand-me-downs from church donation bins and brought lunch to school in reused grocery bags. But you know what? We had love. We had each other. My mom taught me that your worth isn't measured by your bank account. It's measured by your character, your work ethic, and how you treat people when nobody's watching. By the time I was 16, I was working. By 18, I was helping my mom with rent. By 26, I'd put myself through community college while working full-time, and I was damn proud of every single thing I'd earned. Then I met Alexander Whitmore. It was a Tuesday afternoon, slow service, when this man walked into Bellini's wearing a suit that probably cost more than my monthly salary. Perfectly styled dark hair, expensive watch, confident smile. He sat in my section. "What can I get for you today?" I asked, professional smile in place. He looked up from the menu, and I swear, the way he looked at me like I was the most interesting thing in the room made my heart skip. "Surprise me," he said. "Something you'd order for yourself." I brought him the chicken marsala with a side of roasted vegetables. Simple, delicious, not the most expensive thing on the menu, but my personal favorite. He loved it. Before he left a $100 tip on a $35 meal, and his phone number on the receipt with a note. "Dinner was incredible. Would love to take you out sometime. Alex." I probably shouldn't have called. Rich guy, probably players with dozens of girls, but something about him felt genuine. So I texted him that night. We went out 3 days later, then again the following weekend, then twice the next week. Alexander, Alex, was charming, attentive, and seemed genuinely interested in my life. He asked about my family, my dreams, my past. He told me about his childhood in Connecticut, his boarding school education, his family's real estate business in Europe. He never made me feel less than, at least not at first. 6 months later, he proposed. A year after that, we were married in a beautiful ceremony at his parents' estate in France, a wedding that felt more like a performance than a celebration, but I told myself it was just nerves. I should have seen the signs earlier. The first few months of marriage were strange. Alex started making little comments that felt off. "You don't need to work anymore, Maya. It's embarrassing. Can you not tell people you were a waitress? Just say you were in hospitality management. My mother asked if you could wear the Cartier bracelet I bought you to the charity gala. The one you're wearing looks inexpensive." Each comment was small, easy to dismiss, easy to explain away as him wanting to help me fit in with his world. But they added up. He'd forget to invite me to family events, then act surprised when I was hurt. He'd correct my grammar in front of his friends. He'd buy me clothes and insist I wear them instead of my own. I started to feel like I was being erased, like the person he fell in love with, or claimed to fall in love with, wasn't good enough for his real life. Then his sister came to visit. Charlotte Whitmore was flying in from London with her boyfriend, Sebastian. She was a year younger than Alex, worked in fashion, and from everything Alex had told me, she was very particular about people. "Just be yourself," Alex said the morning we drove to the airport. "She's gonna love you." Something in his tone didn't match his words. We picked them up from SeaTac Airport on a bright Saturday morning. Charlotte emerged from arrivals looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine. Designer sunglasses, perfectly tailored travel outfit, a carry-on bag that probably cost more than my first car. "Alex!" She hugged her brother, then turned to me. Her eyes swept over me, head to toe, assessing, calculating in about 3 seconds. "Charlotte, this is my wife, Maya," Alex said. Charlotte's face broke into a huge smile. "Oh my God! She's totally Jordan's." Sebastian, tall and blonde, with the same effortless wealth written all over him, grinned. "Oh, wow, absolutely. Total Jordan's energy." Alex chuckled. Actually laughed like they'd said something clever. I smiled, confused. "I'm sorry, what's Jordan's?" Charlotte waved her hand. "It's a compliment. It means you have amazing style, like effortlessly cool." "Oh." I felt myself relax a little. "Thank you, that's really sweet." "See?" Charlotte linked her arm through mine as we walked to the car. "We're going to be best friends." And for the next 3 days, that's what I thought was happening. They called me Jordan's constantly. "Jordan's, what do you think of this restaurant? Jordan's, you have to try this wine. Jordan's, tell us about Seattle." I thought it was endearing. I thought they'd given me a cute nickname, a sign that I was being accepted into this family that had always felt just slightly out of reach. I was so naive. On their 4th night in Seattle, we decided to have a wine night at our apartment. Alex pulled out several bottles from his collection, wines I couldn't pronounce, let alone afford, and we settled into the living room. As the night went on and the alcohol flowed, the mood shifted. "God, Maya, where did you even get this wine?" Charlotte said, holding up the bottle I'd contributed, a $15 Pinot Noir from Trader Joe's. "It tastes like gasoline." Sebastian laughed. "No offense, Jordan's, but your taste in wine is as cheap as, well." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. Alex said nothing, just sipped his expensive Bordeaux and smiled. "Let's play a game," Charlotte announced, suddenly energized by the alcohol. "Truth or dare?" We were all tipsy at this point, though I had been nursing my drinks, uncomfortable with how the evening was going. But they were drunk, really drunk. The game started innocently enough. Stupid dares, embarrassing truths, lots of laughter. Then Charlotte turned to Alex. "Truth or dare?" "Dare." "I dare you," she paused dramatically, glancing at Sebastian with a mischievous grin, "to tell Maya what Jordan's really means." The room went silent for a beat. Then all 3 of them burst into hysterical laughter. My stomach dropped. Alex was laughing so hard he had tears in his eyes. "Oh my God, Charlotte, you're terrible." "Come on, tell her," Sebastian urged. "She deserves to know." Alex looked at me, still grinning. Okay, so Jordan's, it's this thing we came up with in college. It's what we call homeless people who have style. Like they're living on the streets, but somehow still have swagger. We'd see them wearing fresh sneakers, usually Jordans, hence the name, and be like, "Hey, that guy's a total Jordan's." More laughter. Cackling, actually, like this was the funniest thing in the world. I sat there frozen, the wine glass in my hand suddenly feeling very heavy. Charlotte wiped tears from her eyes. "I mean, the moment I saw you, I was like, oh my God, she's perfect. That thrift store chic vibe, you know." Very authentic, Sebastian added, nodding like a wine critic. Alex finally seemed to notice I wasn't laughing. Babe, it's just a joke. Don't take it so seriously. A joke? I repeated, my voice flat. Yeah, it's funny because you're obviously not homeless. It's ironic. He reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I set down my wine glass, very carefully, stood up, and walked to our bedroom without saying a word. Behind me, I heard Charlotte, "Oh shit, is she mad?" I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed next to my husband, who came to bed hours later, drunk and oblivious, and stared at the ceiling. Every interaction replayed in my head, every time they'd called me Jordans, every smile, every laugh. It had all been mockery. They'd been making fun of me to my face, and I'd thanked them for it. The next morning, Alex woke up hungover and confused about why I was already up and dressed. "What's wrong?" he asked, squinting at the light. "What's wrong?" I repeated. "Are you serious right now?" "What?" He genuinely looked confused. "Last night, the Jordans thing." His face went blank. "What about it?" "You told me it means stylish homeless person, and you and your sister have been calling me that for 4 days while I thought it was a compliment." "Oh." He rubbed his face. "That. Look, we were drunk. It's just a stupid joke. Don't make a big deal out of it." "Don't make a big deal?" I could feel my voice rising. "Your family has been mocking me, calling me a homeless person with swag, and I'm not supposed to make a big deal out of it?" "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Alex? Explain it to me." He sighed, annoyed now. "Fine, you want the truth? I told them about your background before they came, about how you grew up, how you're different from us. I was just preparing them." I felt like I'd been slapped. Preparing them? For what? "For you!" He threw his hands up. "My family has a certain standard. I wanted to give them context so they wouldn't be surprised or uncomfortable." Context. I was shaking now. "You told your sister I'm poor trash so she'd know to mock me appropriately?" "That's not what I said. Get out. Maya, get out of this room, now." He left, slamming the door behind him. I spent the rest of that day alone. Alex, Charlotte, and Sebastian went hiking, some trail in the mountains that Charlotte had read about. I bagged off, claiming a migraine. The moment they left, I sat on the couch and let myself cry. Really cry. All the humiliation, all the hurt, all the months of feeling like I wasn't good enough came pouring out. Then, after about an hour, I dried my tears. And I got angry. These people, these privileged, spoiled, cruel people, thought they could treat me like a joke? Thought they could mock me in my own home? I was going to teach them a lesson. Alex kept his expensive liquor collection in a locked cabinet in the dining room. The key was in his desk drawer, not that he'd ever told me not to touch it. I opened the cabinet and found what I was looking for. A bottle of Casa Dragones Joven tequila, $200, that Alex had been saving for their last night. "This is super rare," he'd told me weeks ago. "We're going to do a tasting with Charlotte and Sebastian. They'll love it." I also had, in our kitchen, a $15 bottle of Sausa Gold tequila. Perfectly fine tequila, but nowhere near the refined level Alex's family would appreciate. An idea formed. I grabbed my phone, set it up on the kitchen counter, and hit record. "Hi there," I said to the camera, holding up both bottles. "This is Maya, and this is for everyone who's ever been looked down on by people who think money makes them better than you." I opened both bottles. The expensive tequila went into an empty Sausa bottle. The cheap tequila went into the Casa Dragones bottle. "These idiots," I continued, getting more animated, "are about to taste test rare, expensive tequila tomorrow night. They're going to sip it like wine and talk about how refined and delicate it is, how you can taste the quality. I poured myself a generous shot of the real Casa Dragonas. This is $200 tequila, and I'm drinking it because I earned it. Not because my parents handed me a trust fund, but because I worked my ass off for everything I have. I took the shot. Smooth, warm, delicious. "Let me tell you about my upbringing," I said, pouring another shot. "I grew up poor. Really poor. But you know what I had? A mom who worked herself to exhaustion to give me a chance. A family that loved each other even when we had nothing. Friends who had my back." Another shot. "And you know what these people have? Money. That's it. No character, no kindness, no basic human decency. They think they're better than me because I grew up in a small apartment instead of a mansion. Because I worked as a waitress instead of having daddy's credit card." I was getting drunk now, and I didn't care. "So here's to you, Charlotte. Here's to you, Sebastian. And here's to you, Alex, my husband, who told his family I'm essentially trash so they'd be prepared. This poor girl from Tacoma just outsmarted all of you." I finished the bottle, okay, not the whole bottle, but a significant amount, and went to bed early, claiming I still wasn't feeling well. I slept better than I had in months. The next evening was their last night in Seattle. Alex made a whole production of it, set the dining table with our nice plates, put out cheese and crackers, dimmed the lights. "Tonight," he announced, "we're doing a proper tequila tasting." He brought out the Casa Dragones bottle, filled with Sasa Gold, with such reverence you'd think it was holy water. "This is Casa Dragones Joven," he said, showing the bottle to Charlotte and Sebastian like a sommelier. "One of the finest tequilas in the world. Small batch, incredibly smooth. This bottle costs $200 and it's almost impossible to find." "Oh my God! I've heard of this," Charlotte exclaimed. "We tried to get some in London, but it was sold out everywhere." Alex poured small amounts into 4 glasses, proper tequila tasting glasses that he'd also bought specifically for this occasion. "Now, the key is to sip it slowly," he instructed. "Let it breathe. Notice the complexity." They lifted their glasses. I lifted mine, fighting to keep my face neutral. Charlotte sipped first. Her eyes closed. "Oh my God." "Right?" Sebastian agreed, taking his own sip. "It's so refined, delicate. You can really taste the quality," Alex said, swirling his glass. "There's an agave sweetness, but it's subtle, sophisticated." I took a sip of my cheap tequila, watching them over the rim of my glass. For the next 20 minutes, they analyzed that $15 tequila like it was fine wine. They discussed notes and finish and terroir. Sebastian said it was dangerously smooth. Charlotte said she could taste the craftsmanship. I let them finish their glasses, let them pour seconds, let them really commit to their refined palates. Then I stood up. "This was really lovely," I said, walking to the TV. "And you've been such wonderful guests. I actually put together a little video to say thank you. Do you mind if I show it?" "Aw, Maya, that's so sweet," Charlotte said, genuinely smiling. "Yeah, we'd love to see it," Sebastian added. Alex looked confused, but nodded. I connected my phone to the TV, pulled up the video, and hit play. The room went silent as my face appeared on the screen. They watched as I held up both tequila bottles, watched as I explained what I was doing and why, listened as I talked about my disgusting, privileged, snob in-laws. Charlotte's face went from confused to shocked to absolutely horrified. Sebastian's mouth literally fell open. Alex turned bright red, then pale, then red again. They watched the entire thing, every word, every shot I took, every brutal truth I spoke. When it ended, the TV screen went black. The silence was deafening. I calmly walked to the table and started collecting the tequila glasses. So, I said, my voice light and cheerful, did you enjoy the distinguished, delicate Casa Dragones? Could you really taste the quality? Nobody spoke. Charlotte's eyes were filling with tears. That was $15 tequila from the grocery store. The real Casa Dragones? I drank it. Last night, while you were out on your hike. It was delicious, by the way. Thanks for saving it for a special occasion, Alex. More silence. Well, good night, everyone. Early flight tomorrow, right? Sleep well. I left them sitting there and went to bed. Around 2 a.m., Alex burst into the bedroom and turned on the light. What the fuck, Maya? I sat up, groggy. What? Charlotte is crying. She's devastated. How could you humiliate them like that? I looked at him, really looked at him, and felt nothing. No love, no anger, just nothing. Yeah, I said quietly. Sucks, doesn't it? Being humiliated. This is different. How? How is it different, Alex? They were joking. So was I. It's just a joke, right? Don't take it so seriously. He started to respond, then stopped. For maybe the first time in our marriage, he had nothing to say. I said, they leave in the morning. I'd appreciate it if you slept on the couch tonight. He stood there for a moment, then left. The next morning, Charlotte and Sebastian avoided me completely. They loaded their bags into the Uber without saying a word, gave Alex tight hugs, and left. Charlotte never spoke to me again. Not when we visited Alex's parents in France 6 months later. Not when I called to try to apologize, which I regret now. I shouldn't have apologized. Not ever. She blocked me on everything. And honestly, good riddance. My marriage didn't survive much longer. After Charlotte's visit, things spiraled quickly. Alex became cold, distant. He blamed me for ruining his family relationships. He started staying late at work, coming home smelling like perfume and lies. I stopped caring. I'd spent months trying to fit into his world, trying to be enough for people who would never respect me. The tequila incident showed me something crucial. I didn't want to be part of this world. I didn't want to become someone who valued appearances over character, money over kindness. I filed for divorce 8 months after Charlotte's visit. Alex fought me on everything, tried to make me sign away rights, tried to make me look crazy in court. His family hired expensive lawyers. But here's the thing about growing up poor. You learn to fight. You learn that sometimes you have to stand up for yourself because nobody else will. I got a damn good lawyer of my own. Thank you, legal aid, and an attorney who believed in my case. I documented everything, the emotional abuse, the mockery, the way Alex tried to erase who I was. The divorce was finalized in 2020. I walked away with enough settlement money to finally finish my bachelor's degree. I moved back to Tacoma, closer to my mom. I got a job at a nonprofit that helps low-income families access education. I met someone new, someone who thinks my thrift store finds are cool, who doesn't care that I grew up poor, who loves me for exactly who I am. His name is Marcus. He's a teacher. He drives a beat-up Honda and lives in a modest apartment. We split bills 50-50, and sometimes we can't afford fancy restaurants, so we cook together instead. And I've never been happier. Looking back, the tequila incident wasn't about revenge. Not really. It was about reclaiming my dignity. For months, I'd let Alex and his family make me feel small. I had started to believe that maybe they were right, that where I came from made me less than, that my Trader Joe's wine and Target clothes were shameful instead of practical. That night, I reminded myself and them that worth isn't measured by your bank account. Class isn't about money. It's about how you treat people. And Charlotte, Sebastian, and Alex, for all their wealth, their designer clothes, their expensive taste in tequila, they had no class at all. To anyone out there who's ever been made to feel less than because of where you come from, what you wear, or how much money you make, You are enough. Your background doesn't define your worth. Your kindness does. Your work ethic does. Your integrity does. And if someone can't see that, if they'd rather mock you than know you, they're not worth your time. I'm Maya. I grew up poor in Tacoma. I worked as a waitress to put myself through college. I married into wealth and discovered that money can't buy decency. And I walked away with my head held high. These days, when I drink tequila, usually the $15 kind because I'm still practical, I think about that night. I think about Charlotte's face when she realized what I'd done. I think about Alex trying to defend the indefensible. And I smile because I won. Not because I humiliated them, though I did, but because I refuse to let them make me ashamed of who I am. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of my mom who worked 3 jobs. I'm proud of every hand-me-down I wore, every meal we stretched to last 3 days, every obstacle I overcame. And if that makes me Jordan's, if having swagger despite struggle makes me someone they can mock, then I'll wear that name like a badge of honor. I'm Jordan's, and I'm damn proud of it.